Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing No Rest for the Wicked on the Steam Deck thanks to the publisher for providing a code of the game. So this game is in early access. I'm going to talk more about technical stuff in a moment. First of all, it doesn't have Steam Deck compatibility as of yet. Then on the discussions, they've been patching the game already, which is wonderful, and 2 hours ago they have available some performance improvements, especially in the first level, which was a huge issue for me when I played this game for the first time. And people in the reviews are calling it no rest for the GPU, so it's a very demanding game on the GPU side. So let's get into it right away. In the options menu, we're using 800p, no FPS cap as of right now. And on graphics, we only got quality presets, which affect the resolution of the reflections, of the shadows, all that stuff. Put it on performance. Anything above this on the Steam Deck is below 30 FPS. Render scale, the game recommends 80%, but I recommend between 70 and 75. Sharpness, 35%. A little bit of motion blur, and dynamic resolution disabled because I'll explain you why in a moment. So this is the very beginning of the game in the ship. Later on, you basically get attacked and the ship is on fire and there is a lot of rain, which destroyed performance. Even with these settings, it was dropping below 30 FPS. So I'll skip ahead to that part because here it runs okay. So here comes a demanding part. This is a Unity game, but the thing with this game in particular is that it has a lot of custom stuff. So it's less Unity than you would expect. It's more of a Souls-like experience as well. And, well, the lighting is completely dynamic. So there's no baked lighting when it comes to this game, which is pretty impressive. But it has stutter, as you can see. Performance, I mean, the game is pretty demanding. Let's be honest about it. It looks gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But performance, at least in my opinion, leaves a lot to be desired, but considering the lighting is all dynamic and we get lots of effects on screen, it kind of makes sense. But still, I was expecting more. Visually, I think it's a gorgeous game, but most of the issues come to the GPU performance. That's why people in the reviews are calling it no rest for the GPU. Alright, well, we're outside. Here is when it dropped performance the most for me. For the last few days I've been playing the game. As you can see, the cutscenes are full. I mean, the camera is behind the character. But the performance is way worse. These are real-time cutscenes. As you can see, all that lighting is fully dynamic. Hence the GPU hit. So again, considering the technology, it makes sense, but at the same time, man, it's so GPU demanding. Here also, I'm seeing CPU limitation. At some points, it's not using the CPU at 100%, but the GPU usage drops. And again, this is the part where I drop frames the most. This is what I would say the worst case scenario. Reflections on the ground, all those dynamic shadows, effects like fire, and the rain at the same time, plus all the sparks caused by the sword also cast shadows, which I think is a little bit overkill. It looks amazing, don't get me wrong. But as you can see, I mean, even if I lower the resolution scale to like 50%, it'll still be below 30 FPS. That's why I didn't enable dynamic resolution at all. In a case like this, it doesn't help, because you are at, I don't know, 35 FPS. Okay, dynamic resolution is not enabled at that point. But then in areas like this, it will drop like to 50% resolution and still stay below 30. So again, pretty taxing when it comes to GPU, mostly. But it looks gorgeous. So this being the worst case scenario, let me show you something that happens once you get off the ship. Welcome back. Now outside of the most demanding area, we got this. This is when you get off the ship for the first time. And when it comes to GPU demands, it's lower, of course. There's less effects on screen, less stuff happening. Okay, let's grab this. Definitely. And well, outside of the Prologue, I would say it's fine. You're into the 30s with 75% resolution. But there's still stutter, the frame time is not perfect. It still has a long way to go, in my opinion. While I love the looks of the game and that it's all dynamic lighting, that has a huge performance issue. Because calculating all that lighting in real time, it's a huge GPU limitation because, well, it's a lot of calculation that has to happen. But I don't know, when I saw the game for the first time, I didn't think it would be this demanding on the GPU. And here it's dropping again when I'm moving pretty fast. I thought, first of all, that it was Unreal 5. Then I noticed it was a Unity title, which actually surprised me. I'm not used to seeing many Unity titles nowadays when it comes to new games with interesting visuals. But again, as of right now, at least, at the time of making this video, which is April 22nd, 2024, early access, we got the first performance patch, still not enough to get 30s on the Steam Deck in the ship. Most of the time, again, it should be fine. The ship is the biggest problem right now, which is the Prologue. Visually outstanding, at least in my opinion. But would I get it for Steam Deck? I mean, if you don't mind the Prologue dropping frames like crazy and the stutters here when loading new areas, you'll be fine. But there's a lot of instances when it drops below 30. So as of right now, I wouldn't recommend it on deck. If you have a good GPU on a desktop computer or a laptop, at that point, it should be fine. But on the Steam Deck, it drops below 30 just too often and it stutters way too much. So we'll revisit this game once it goes out of early access or we get a major patch and I notice the difference. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.